Hello, in this coming short movie I will demonstrate how to work with Appium, recognize object element on our application, our mobile application, and manipulate them like click or other actions we know from the Selenium process. Let's see. This is our emulator of our device. We want to open our application and then to click the menu preference like that. We want to do it using a Appium Selenium platform. For doing that, we need to understand the property of the element we want to click. In this example, the menu item preference. Okay, for that we will need to load the mobile emulator screen to our UI Automator viewer coming with the Appium. This is the tool which will allow us to recognize the object, the element in our Selenium script. Let's do it. We click here, operation in progress, obtaining device screenshot, and we load to our UI Automator viewer the emulator, the page where we want to do our action on the object, on the element preferences. For that we will need to click on it again, and here we can see the properties the UI Automator viewer show us for this element. The important property we will need or we will use in this example is the class properties. For example, the class of these properties is Android.widget.textView, and the attribute of this class, this tag, is preference. So the text is preference. The strategy we will use for getting the element from our mobile application will be xpath. And the syntax for that will be once we have the driver, Android driver, in our script, in our test case, we can do it like that. Driver dot find element by xpath. So now we need to recognize the element. So we will need to use the tag name. We can copy it directly from the UI. So we say this one. And we need to reference also to the attribute. So this will be the text. Equal. We can copy it also, the text of the element from the UI Automator viewer. So, great. So we are approaching the Android widget text view with text preference. Now we will need to choose our action or method we want to implement on this element. Using the xpath, we will need to refer with // which means we are scanning the page object, the driver object, for finding element with tag of Android widget text view which have text preference. This is important one, the //. Then we can click dot and choose our method, for example click. Okay, this will allow us to click the element. For the demonstration I prepared before a flow of actions on driver elements, element within my Appium driver, my Android element, my Android driver. So I can show a flow of test case using Appium on the Android emulator. Let's run it and see. I'm starting my Selenium test case. I create a emulator, a new emulator, which interact with the Appium server. The emulator is getting started, and then it will load the application we are testing. We saw before. This is the API demo, the application we are using. Let's click on Elements and make some methods or manipulate some element on our test. So we can see we start the Appium test case, we start Android emulator, and then we begin the first test Wi-Fi setting, and finish first test Wi-Fi setting by manipulating some element within the driver. That's all for now, for a short example of element identification recognitions within the Selenium on Appium emulator and Appium test code. Thank you.